name's Milsted, and this is the Twilight Crew. Today we hope to give you a presentation of breakdancing and inform you what it's all about. So as I get my mic on, we'll continue. First thing I'd like to do is have the guys turn the music down a little bit. Thank you. I'm going to introduce them now. I'd like Mike Peterson to come out. Mike is a 15-year-old freshman at North. By the way, all the members of the Twilight Crew are from North High School. Linda Pittinger, our only girl breakdance member. Thank you, Linda. She's 14, but she's also a freshman. Matt Leffler, our pop locking extraordinaire, freshman also at North. Bill Mason is one of our two juniors. Bill's a 17-year-old junior at North High School. Kevin Jones is a freshman, and so is Jeff Nicolay. They're both 15 years old. And Dirk Milsted, my brother, is also a junior at North, and I'm Lance Milsted. Now, hope to be right back. Try to give you guys, people watching, a basic idea of what you're seeing today and what's happening with breakdancing. What you just saw was a presentation of breakdancing and, I guess you'd say, breaking music. But that's not what it is, really. It's all part of something called hip-hop. Now, if you're asking what hip-hop was, we'll say hip-hop is to funk music what bebop was to jazz. Now, for those of you who know what jazz is, jazz kind of replaced the stiff-collared orchestras, and this is replacing rock, and it's like rock and reggae, and now we have funk, or this break music. Hip-hop started in around 1970 or 1972, early 70s, by someone named Kool Herc, and he was a mobile DJ. What he'd do is he'd bring his boombox outside, or his ghetto blaster, or his radio, and he'd plug it into a street lamp, and he'd put a mic on, and he'd start playing some tunes, you know, and the crowd would gather, and there'd be people partying, and then they'd throw up a graffiti on the wall, and people would break. The kids would get down and do a little dancing. And as that developed, the DJ they got into a nightclub scene. So you'd have a scratch DJ, is what it came out to be. And he got his name for, because he would play like 4 records at once. And he'd scratch from one to another, or the music would all be jumbled up to give it a good beat. And also what helped the DJ with the beat was something called a beatbox, and that provided a certain rhythm that the dancers could dance to. Now there are 3 basic ingredients to hip-hop, and that's graffiti, rapping, and breaking. Graffiti is, I guess you could say, the visual, not the dancing. Dancing's visual, but graffiti is also visual. It's considered artwork, and just if you believe me, some of this has been exhibited in art museums, has been sold for more than $10,000 in places around the nation. And so, you know, that's what they'll do. You'll see, like, if you ever go to New York or Chicago or the big cities, they'll have graffiti, and then there'll be breakdancers in front of that. I'm sure many of the videos you've seen graffiti in certain parts of it. Rapping is done by somebody called a rapper or a rap crew. Now, what they'll do is they'll have a DJ. A rap crew is made up of a DJ and a bunch of rappers. And they'll start, you know, the DJ or the scratch DJ will play the music into the beatbox, and then they'll go along, and then the rapper will come in, and they'll go double time to the beat that's coming from the beatbox. So if the music's going, he'll make a little rhyme going double time. There's a little bit right there. Rapping started, one of the most famed rap groups around right now is called Grandmaster Flash. And he started as a DJ in the Bronx, and he met the Furious 5 at a nightclub, and they've grown to be one of the hottest rap bands around. Another couple more famous rap bands are Africa Bambaataa Soul Sonic Force, the Treacherous 3, the Fearless 4, and so on and so forth. Now the party you've all been waiting for, we're going to talk about breakdancing a little bit. And the guys like that. But breakdancing started around early 70s, 72, 74. And it started out as something called the good foot. They didn't have the word breakdancing. But as it developed through the years, more and more, the word breaking came in because of a lot of the stuff they do on the floor you very well could break something, but that's just a pun. But it died down for a couple years after it first blew up. And then a group called the Rocksteady Crew, which is a very famed group in New York, and they're one of the nation's best breakdance groups. They brought it back and they added another level, including gymnastics and acrobatics, martial arts, and mime. And those four things, along with what had been incorporated before they had stopped, made breakdancing what it is today. Breakdancing was, it's looked at now as a kind of warfare, but they dance instead of fight. You know, gangs would, they'd meet on the street with knives, guns, and so on and so forth, and they would end up killing people or to that effect. But now, with breakdancing, they can still have the rivalries, they can still have privilege of territory, but nobody gets hurt this way. Types of breakdancing. We have a California style, which is kind of aerial, and it's done with 2 or 3 people, but they're all in a jumbled mass. They'll be on the shoulders or between the legs or something like that, and you'll see a little bit of that in a routine we'll be doing later. Italian break, or something called top rocking, is done standing vertically, and it's a lot of the movement with the feet and the arms simultaneously, and it's usually done while there'll be one person breaking and the rest of the group will be top rocking. The electric boogie is it's like this electric flow going through your body, and starts in one end or one part of your body and goes to the other and all around through your body, and that can be done also with the group. Breaking is considered an all-around general term, but what people, breakdancers, know breaking as is what's usually done on the floor. The footwork around circles, kicking the legs into the air, spinning on the back, the head, the hands, the knees, the arms. And when they spin, what they're doing is they're using a point on their body as an axis to spin the rest of their body on. So if you're wondering how they're doing that, if they have little motors or suction cups in a motor, that's not right. They're using this point on their body to spin to use for an axis to keep going. Breakdance groups have turned competitive lately, and it's like a street dance gone Broadway. But what they're doing now is they're making money. So a lot of people think that breakdancing is going to be a fad, but I have an idea that this is going to go a long way. So if you have an interest in breakdancing, there are a number of groups in Sheboygan's down in Milwaukee that give lessons. And if you want to learn and get a group together, it's a good way to earn some money. So I hope I've explained basically what breakdancing is. Now we're going to try to show you a few of the moves that we do. I'd like Jeff to bring my little scribble pad. And we're going to start with something called the worm. This is kind of outdated in most places, but we still do it here in Sheboygan. There are a lot of people that does it. Actually, we'll do the worm later. We're going to start with something called top rocking. I mentioned that before. I'd like Mike Peterson to come out here, and he's going to show you one of the easy types of pop rocking. We'll move back a little bit. Okay, all it is a step from side to side. And you get, when your foot's out to the side, you stick your chest out and your arms back, and you cross them in front. You just go to the beat. Okay, now another type of top rocking, thank you, Mike, will be shown by Linda Pittinger. She scolds me when I pronounce her name right. This is one that we consider top rocking, and it's just a 4-step count with your foot going back and changing positions. Movement of the arms with the music, and then you change and you can go back the other direction. So that's what that type is basically. Thank you, Linda. Matt Leffler will show you probably one of the, this is a collage of whatever you want to do at top rocking. So it's just a quick movement of the feet and hands, and it's a good way to start out your footwork or whatever you're going to do on the floor. Okay, thank you, Matt. Now we'll have we'll show you a little bit on the worm. This will be shown by Bill Mason. Now there's a number of different versions of the worm that he has made up, but we'll start with the basic one, which is just lying flat, and he'll just do it once, Matt, or Bill. Okay, it's just like a wave starting at your feet and going back. Now move back a little so we'll try to show you what you do. First thing he's going to do is he's going to have his forearms on the ground. You can also use your hands. But he has his forearms on the ground, and now he's going to lift his chest up. Now, once he's got that up like that, he's going to push his chest down, and his feet are going to fly up in the air. He plants his toes about 3 or 4 inches in front of where they were, and he'll stop there. Now he'll let it come down from the ankles and go right through his body, and then he'll do it again just by kicking his feet up to get an effect of moving along the floor. Okay, now what you saw him do backwards. It's just the same thing, except the wave's going to start in front. He'll start by placing his chest on the ground first, kicking his feet in the air, and letting the rest of his body roll down. And you just move your hands back then. Now he's put both of these together, called a switch. He'll go forward and backwards. He'll stop and he'll pop right back. You get that click, and it's just like the wave stops, so you have a barrier. It goes right back. Now Matt's been, I keep calling you Matt. Bill's been working on something new, and this is called knee slide worm. This is what he calls it. He slides on his knees, lets his body fall, picks it up, and so on like that. Thank you, Bill. Footwork is what's probably known, and it's pretty popular around, and around everywhere actually. We're gonna have Kevin Jones show you that. Now he'll just do a little bit so they know what we're talking about. Okay, he's doing it slow here, but you can also speed it up, go to the beat, and make it as smooth as you can. You put little things in like that. Now what he's doing, if you do it slow, well, slow down. Is he's just, why don't we show him the windmill? This is probably something you learned in grade school. Okay, now he just adds another foot and the other hand, and he'll go around and do that for a while. See, and it's just kicking the feet, catching them, and flipping them around. And once you get good enough, you can put the little pauses in there on your head or land on your feet. Thank you, Kevin. Now footwork can also be done in your elbows, but we're not going to show that right now. I'd like to show you how to do a back spinner. Jeff Nicolay. Now footwork is like, I guess, a basic ingredient for the breaking part. Pop locking is another part. We'll show you that later. But footwork is usually what you start and end things with. So he'll start with his footwork, and then he'll spin on his back. We'll just let him do that. And then he spins on his back. Okay, now we're going to try to show you how he's doing that. So you get in your position that you start with, and he's bringing his leg around, so he's got one that he can kick up. The back leg will be kicked up. Do it slowly. He's going to bring it where it's just about perpendicular with his arm here. His arm's straight out. He's almost on his back, and that leg is just about straight perpendicular with, it's like at a perpendicular angle to the rest of his body. Now his other leg is back, so he's going to bring that one around and spread them out. So he's got this. He's going to snap them in, and that's going to give him the rotation. We'll let him do it one more so you can see how it's done fast. So he's going to bring that leg back, swing it around, spread, and he'll tuck him in, and then he can spin on his back. Okay, we have something that another one of our members has, I guess, caused to become, and it's called a push hop. Yeah, and we'd like Dirk Milsted to come out and show you that. And what he's doing is he's just pushing up with his hands and hopping backwards. He's on his hands, keeping his body low, and this is really effective if they can't see what you're doing with your hands and your feet. But he'll do a worm forward, and then he'll stop, put his hands down, and he'll hop back, push hop. Thank you, Dirk. Next, popping, or the electric boogie, or what is also known as body popping, is be done by Matt Leffler. He's a very accomplished pop locker, and what it is, it's just like letting a wave start at one end of your body and going to the rest. And it's not just through the shoulders and arms. It can use your head or your legs. See, he's letting that just go right up his arm and his body. And this is a lot of times if you're in New York or Chicago, you just see people on the corner, and they'll just be doing this, walking down the sidewalk. But that's what pop locking is. With a lot of practice, you can get really good at it. Okay, also one thing I would like to show you is spinning on your knee. It's not very hard, it just takes a lot of balance to do. And we're going to have Bill Mason show you that. Knee pads come in really handy for doing this. But he's going to start, and he's going to keep one knee down. He's going to use his hands, propel him around, and he's going to use his other leg as a stabilizer. Okay, now we try it one more time, do a little slow. Now he'll start with his footwork. Like I said, the footwork is, once again, the basis or the starting point for this. He'll stop on his knee, and he'll start that. And you'll see that a little bit today.
Okay, now we're going to have Lance Milsted demonstrate a hand spin. Okay, first he'll start out with his footwork, and then he'll freeze on his hand. He'll brace his elbow against his body to give him sufficient support. Then he'll propel himself with his other hand, trying to balance and keeping his legs off the ground. This move takes pretty much practice, but once you get it down, it looks very nice.
Okay, this is a small mic, but we have hopefully shown you a little bit what we know about breakdancing. We have a lot to learn, but this is, I guess, an example of breakdancing. Maybe, hopefully, you can pick up some of what we've shown you today and get your own breakdance career started. We're gonna do one more routine for you, and if you're at Expo, you've probably seen this one already. It's done to Rocket, and what we've shown you with some of the moves that we did should all be incorporated into this. We'll be doing some group activities and also a few solos. So thank you very much for tuning in.